Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. You're welcome to the Discovery Show, TDS TV, here on Facebook and on YouTube. My name is Precious. Today is a special edition of this program, and basically, it is a bit different from what we've been doing in previous weeks. In previous weeks, we actually profile the life of one person, but today we are delving into a particular subject, that is nursing and midwifery registration and practice in the UK, US, and Germany. And we are looking at the perspective of 3 different professionals in these countries. I'm privileged to be joined this evening by Mrs. Priscilla Owusu, who is a midwife in Germany, and Mr. Isaac Bamfo, who is a registered nurse in the United States of America, and then Yearn who is a diabetes clinical nurse specialist here in the UK. You are welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will take a turn and go to Mr. Bamfo just to give us some initial comments before we come back sometime. So, Mr. Bamfo, what is it like in the US in terms of nursing registration? You are muted, Mr. Bamfo.
Yeah, pretty much almost every country does the same. Okay, it's all about credentialing. That is a certain agency in that country trying to find out whether your education is apart with the standards of that country. For the US, the only different thing is we have a lot of states. And most or every state have their standards, even though all the states, their standards flow into the bigger picture of the country. So depending on which state you want to take the exam or practice, there might be certain do's and don'ts or certain additions that you may have to come up with whilst registering. But all come together, you first have to satisfy the minimum educational requirement for nursing practice. So if you trained or schooled outside the United States, then you might need to go through the credentialing stage. And for the US, I think most people use what they call the CGFNS, which is the Commission for Graduates of Foreign Nursing Schools. So pretty much they are the agency that is tasked with the credentialing. So you're going to go through what they call CES, which is Credential Evaluation Service, and that is where your transcript, your school data records, everything is going to go through. If you are coming here from outside to work, then it means that you probably also hold a nursing license in your home country, and that will also be part of the credentialing service. So they are going to gather every data and scrutinize it. But whilst they are gathering the data, you first of all have to let them know which state you intend to write the board exam under, because depending on which state you want to write under, there are certain things that can differ. Okay, and then the second thing is the English proficiency. You come in and talk to patients in English. They will be also talking to you in English. You have colleagues to deal with, and it's all about the language. So they will first have to satisfy that you are somebody that can at least, in minimum terms, express yourself, understand, hear in English. And also, it's just fair for you to satisfy, because the exams you are going to take is conducted in English, basically. So to be fair to you, they must also satisfy that at least the questions you are reading and everything you can understand and at least do your best. Because if you cannot read and understand it, then they are also not being fair to you. Okay, so pretty much that is it. Basically, everything starts with the credentialing, and once you go through the credentialing stage, the rest will follow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bamfo. These are the initial comments. I'm sure you'll come back to the details. I'm watching you, I do not know the process for US. What is the step-by-step procedure? And if you can also limit the duration, of course, I know it varies, but roughly how long did you take to have your process to go
through? Precious, it varies, like you said. Along the path, there could be a lot of things that can change from one person to the other. So pretty much we have the credentialing stage, like I told you. I want to presume people, we are talking about people coming from Ghana or a part of the world. So credentialing, which depends on you and how fast you go about your things.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm watching. I don't know what you mean by credentialing. If you can break it down to a level.
Credentialing is just evaluation of your nursing education background and licensure from your home country. So at that point, as I explained earlier, from the CGFNS or the commission that does that for graduates of foreign nursing schools, everything will still depend on you, the applicant, because you're going to apply to them to evaluate your documents to determine if your background can be the same as those that schooled in the US, and so you'll be able to practice. So they are going to require you to furnish them with certain documents, your transcript, proof of licensure in your home country. So when you get those documents, you are going to send it to the respective institutions to fill and mail it back to them. So that's why I say everything depends on you. You must be willing to follow up at every stage, wherever you took any document to, and make sure it is done and mailed. And it's a responsibility to track it and make sure the mail has been delivered to the respective institutions. So there's a bit of, depending on how many years you've even practiced in Ghana, and per our laws, people might be going through clearance, others might not be going through. Some went straight to the university, some went through the nursing training system, which is more government. So if I start with you or Irene that attended KNUST, all things being equal, Irene might go through smoothly and easier than I would, because there will be bottlenecks for me to cross in my stage. I have to go to the ministry, I have to do clearance. So that is what I mean by everything depends on you. But all things being equal, I think if you give yourself a year to two and you are very serious, you can get through every process. So that is the first stage. After you cross that stage and the CGFNS is able to certify that, oh, Mr. Precious, you are good to go. We think you are okay. And depending on which state board you choose to register under. So for instance, if you're coming from Ghana and you choose to practice in Texas, and I root under Board of Colorado, so I would need IELTS. Those who are registering under Texas might not need IELTS. You understand? So if I'm registering under Texas, then it means I'll go through, even in the credentialing process, I don't need to take IELTS. It depends on you. You can take IELTS for 3 times, 5 times, attempt. The process will be hanging until you get it. So those are the differences. US have given authorities to the states to determine their own scope of nursing practice. So even you practicing in this state, if you move to another state, you might need a different license to work. So it varies. But like I said, I can say 2 years because I registered with Colorado and I had to take IELTS before everything can start. Thankfully, I took it once and passed. But if you are on the other side, or I was doing it with somebody in Texas, you would have gone. So I started in 2016. I know you want the facts, and I was here in 2019.
Wow.
Yep. So that is it. But that is not to scare viewers. I've seen people that have come through even in less than a year.
Okay.
So fast forward, that is the credentialing stage. And then after that, you get to the NCLEX stage. So there is a commission that has accepted that your education is at par with the US standards. So you can take the exam. Now, your preparation counts. You should determine when you think you are good to take the board exam. So that also has a bit of individualism in it. So you are going to determine when you think you are okay to take it. And if you take it and you pass, that is just the exam stage. You have a license. Now you are going to think about how you're going to come to US to practice. That will take you to the immigration phase. So I can say credentialing, and I can say the NCLEX stage, and then the immigration stage. And then the immigration stage also depends on you. If you are coming to US to practice nursing, it's not something you can apply yourself and go for a visa and come. You first of all need what we call a petitioner. We will say somebody who will file your case for you. So you will need an employer, because it is only an employer or a recruiter that can file an immigrant work-based visa for you. So at that point too, it depends on you. What I mean by employer, there are people that come through certain hospitals. Some hospitals have their own immigration pipeline where they can recruit directly. But most of the hospitals have also relegated that task to recruiters. So recruiters will bring you and take you to that hospital. So that also means that every recruiter or recruiting agency would also have their eligibility criteria. So after everything, you must also meet the eligibility criteria of the individual recruiting agencies. So it's not a straight line, because at any point in time, you can get locked. I don't know if you understand. I'm trying to go so low so that everybody will be able to appreciate. Yeah. So there are several recruiting agencies in the industry. All that they are doing is to recruit the best brains for the US and to fill a need gap for most of the hospitals. And our practice is pretty much same as DS, but it's a bit fast-paced. So it's a good thing to venture, but you must be up to the game. The US primarily operates on competence. Just tell us what you can do and do it. If you can do what you claim to do, they don't have any problem with you, irrespective of your background. So I can dive into the recruitment. There are a couple of players in the industry, notably to most Ghanaians and Africans. They know Avant Healthcare Professionals. They know Ogradi Payton, and these guys do great job. You marvel the number of visas that they secure for professionals in a year. Why do you need them? They are the masters in the industry. They are going to file your claim as to why you deserve a working visa or an immigrant visa. They are the people that can talk to the agencies that are concerned with issuing immigrant visa. So they will have to be the people to get you employment certificate. First of all, they would have to be the agency responsible for gathering your data, your birth cert, passport, families, people you want to bring to the United States. And they are the people that are going to be the mediators between you and the USICS, that is United States Center for Citizenship and Immigration. So they are going to file your case for you and follow it for you. So they will be giving you correspondence. You are just a mere applicant. They are the petitioners. If you are bringing anybody with you, those people are beneficiaries. So they will talk to you about the things to give them, and they will file your case for you. So that is it. And within that stage, anything can also happen. They can file for you and you can get denied. But they will file again for you. We are not at the visa stage yet. This is just the immigration process. They will first have to file the case for you here in the US. You need approval. Somebody sitting somewhere must go through your documents to say, Mr. Adade is fit to practice in the US because he has passed NCLEX. That is one. He has this. He has this. If you have filed any case with the United States, you should be singing the same chorus with your presentation because nothing is hidden. They will know when you visited the US, when you went back, even the countries you've gone to. So they will satisfy all those things and give what they call approval. Now, when you receive that approval, that is the first biggest jump. So from the approval, then the case can move from the US CIS to where they call the NVC. That is the National Visa Center. So once you have approval, you are moving on to the next institution. So the National Visa Center actually is the agency that is going to link up between you and your home country embassy to make sure the case is completed and leaves the United States to whichever country you are coming from, their base. And then you get to a stage where they call case completion. It means your case is completed. Then they can send everything to Accra and they will communicate to you an interview date for you to go. So within even that stage, that's why I talk about the denier. They can issue what they call RFE, which is called request for further evidence. So they can request for certain things from you. They don't just say you are denied. They will first query some of the things. Probably you travel to the US on a birth cert. If it has a different, it depends on you. So you have to be an honest person. Because once they file a request for evidence, it means you must provide further and better particulars to that effect. And if they will give you a period to respond. So that also goes to the doorstep of the petitioner. The petitioner will get back to you that, hey, they are saying you came here 2016 with this. They don't see this, they don't see your marriage certificate, or there's some disparities in certain information, and you may need to respond to it. So you give your response, and your petitioner will forward your response to that RFE, and then they will sit on it again and either clear you or then come with a verdict of denial. When you were denied, they can file again for you, but it takes a lot. And you can have multiple RFEs. You can respond to an RFE and they will issue another RFE for you to respond to until they are satisfied. So pretty much once you get approval, you are done because it is the US trying to do justice to your case. So when it comes to Accra, it's like you've been vetted. Everything has been vetted. For them to deny you in Accra means that they are either doubtful of whoever did your credentialing in the US, and it is in-house thing. They among their own agencies, so they trust them. Nothing goes uncovered, even though the consular at Accra is also going to go through some of the things, but most of the vetting would have been done already at the USCIS and the NVC stage. And your packet will be ready in Accra because everything you submitted will already be in Accra for you.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Mr. Isaac Bamfo. I want to remind you, you're going out and in your coming in, of course, you need some basic things. And of course, you need some footwear, you need clothes, you need watches, you need bags and books. And you can only get the trendy ones from Henbeck Agency. Henbeck Agency. And you can contact them on henbecktravels@gmail.com. Henbeck is Henbeck. Henbeck Agency, and they will definitely supply or ship to you wherever you are across the globe. So do not worry about shipping at all. Just contact Henbeck Agency. They are the proud sponsors of this program. Viewers, I'm reminding you, this is the Discovery Show TDS TV here on Facebook and on YouTube. I'll plead with you to subscribe to this channel. Obviously, I'm sure that you know this is a very important interview, this and many more. So please do well to subscribe to our channel here on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on Instagram.
Life is a journey and sometimes can be a lonely road. When friends and loved ones forsake you, all you got to do is to be bold. I knew it years ago that those who undermined me had their minds undermined, but I never mind. They should keep on undermining because I'm a real good. I must undergo mining. Talking of mining, it leads to discovery. We mine to discover, we learn to discover, we observe to discover. Friends can uncover you at the same time discover you. But I don't want to discover you, I would rather discover more, so I go on the internet and I listen to words of wisdom and intellect. Availability of information, interviews of great men and women all over the diaspora and all nations. Creativity at its best, dexterity of research, no need to go through any formal education. I introduce you to the Discovery Show. Let your friends and your family know the struggles before the blow, their highs and their lows. Pay attention to this show, it will make you feel at ease. The Discovery Show on YouTube got the steez. Now Perry, the presenter, please pose for the camera. I want to hear you say cheese. We are airborne like a flu. I want to hear you sneeze. True. The Discovery Show is live on air, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. See ya. TDS TV, Yearn to learn. Host, Perry Precious. Executive producer, James.
Mr. Bamfo, I'll come back to you now. Somebody asked about career progression in the US, and also whether, I think there's another question that asks whether you need some work experience before you can practice in the US. I'm sure you said some of them depends, I mean, the work experience depends on certain factors, but which people need some sort of work experience before they can practice in the US? And does it include national service? Somebody asked, does it include national service?
Okay, so I'll touch on that. Basically, most of the agencies will require you to have a 2-year work experience. And for some of them, they can even spell out which areas they need you to have experience in, because they are recruiting you for a market, and the market has demand factors. And also there's some gap practice between the US and Ghana. You come into a new area, different equipment and different policies and algorithms. So the 2 years is actually to help you, the nurse, to be at least able to put yourself together to take the mandate that lies ahead. The adaptation, but quick one on the 2 years again. So this is something I have realized from like people that comes here. The US, like I said, operates on competence. So in drafting your CV, you should be honest. Because if you tell the recruiter what you can do, they are going to base on that to look for market for you. And you might get it, but you might not fit. So be sure you know how to do what you claim to do on your CV. Because it's one thing getting here and it's another thing being successful professional-wise. And I'll also advise people to take up the med-surg roles, because mostly every nurse can be a med-surg nurse.
But medical and surgical, you mean?
Medical and surgical, to be precise. But the specialties are actually what causes the problems, because they're going to require a lot of things from you. And also, to throw more light, depending on where you work in US and whichever specialty you are going to work, it will also require certain additional qualifications from you. For instance, let me use myself as an example. I work at the emergency department, and it's a trauma center. So I need additional qualification aside just the NCLEX. You might need like ACLS, which is Advanced Cardiac Life Support. You might need PALS, which is Pediatric Advanced Life Support, which are all renewable. You need some competencies like trauma nursing core course from the Emergency Nursing Association here in the US. So these are things that will prepare you for a certain unit. You don't have to have them the start, but once you start, you need them, because most of the hospitals operate at certain levels, and it is required for the staff in certain units to have certain credentials so that the hospital can operate at that level. So you can't have nurses in a trauma center and none of them has TNCC or certification in trauma. Or you are in the critical care unit or ICU and you don't have advanced cardiac life support certification. That is a no-no. So that's why I say you have to be careful with how you draft your CV. I think the goal is to get here and then everything will take shape. Once you are here, you will be able to move on to the next level. There was a question about adaptation. The staff adapting here. There is culture shock. What you are used to 30 years in Ghana, everything is going to change and you're going to be used to something different. The colleagues you've worked with are going to change. You are going to be with different colleagues who have also lived here all their lives, and you are the visitor, so you would have to give in and learn from them. So what am I saying? You don't have to build borders around yourself. If you build borders around yourself, you are only going to end up imprisoning your own self. You must let yourself out. You have come to live with them and be like them. There are differences in diets, in music, and in everything. So that is with the culture shock. Still with the clinical adaptation for our brothers and sisters who want to come here. So I will recommend the recruiting and the recruiting agencies. For instance, my agency will keep you at a place for 2 months and teach you certain things before they release you to your work field. So within that 2 months, they are going to help you depending on which unit they are taking you to with the preparatory credentials, the ACLS and stuff. They will make sure you get them. They will train you to get them. There will be culture shock. They are going to train you how to interact, how to talk to patients. So that helps in that aspect. So I recommend using the recruiting firms. They provide great deal of assistance in actually blending in the US. Now, NCLEX.
Yes, because I've seen one question here which ties in what you've just said. If the person doesn't want to, even though you are recommending the use of an agency, but if the person doesn't want to use the agency, how difficult is it? And is it the same process minus agency involvement?
So you can go to a certain point, but you might not be able to cross. So you can do your credentialing with the CGFNS yourself. You might not need an agency. You can take the NCLEX without an agency. What the agency comes in is the migration part, because at that point you need immigration attorneys. If you can afford one, fine, but under which employers or recruiters license are you filing your case? Who is making the case for you? Remember, this is not a non-immigrant visa, it's an immigrant visa, so there should always be a petitioner. Who is petitioning for you? So that is, you can go to the NCLEX stage and pass the NCLEX, but the immigration phase is going to be difficult for you if you want to work solo. Yeah. NCLEX, there's no testing center in Ghana. I think last year they opened the first one in Africa. So after everything, the NCLEX itself is organized by another company. They have given the right of the examination to a different company called the Pearson VUE. So the Pearson VUE determines which place they want to site their centers. I took my exam in India. I was in Mumbai to take the exam because at that point there was no testing center in Africa. But I think there's one in South Africa now. So once you are fit for the NCLEX and you go through and you get your authorization to test, to write the NCLEX, you can go any testing center and take the NCLEX. But also there will be visa arrangements. So depending on where, if you are in the UK, you can take it in UK, Switzerland, Germany, anywhere there is a testing center, you can take it. But if you are in Ghana, then it means you must find a place and take it. And that brings another visa header, because if you are going to South Africa, you need a visa. If you are going to India, you need a visa. You need to make ticketing arrangements, hotel arrangements where you are going to sleep, how you are going to move from the hotel to the exam center, and how you're going to come back. That's why the recruiter will help you. But most of them takes care, if not all, a bigger percentage of the cost that is involved in that stage.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think you wanted to say something. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So for if you are like me, coming from where I came from, and you are in my shoes, it's gonna, because it's cost intensive. From IELTS.
Someone has asked, what is the cost involved?
Well, I can speak to understand the cost involved. At least you are not spending less than 1,000 Ghana or $200 on IELTS. Your transcript, depending on which school you graduated from, different schools have different costs with transcript application. You will need a passport, if depending on how you want to apply it, that is cost. Now, you will need to fly from Ghana to wherever you want to take the NCLEX. That is air ticket. That's your cost, at least $1,000 to $2,000 to go for ticket in and out. You are going to be in a hotel, depending on the size of your package. You choose whether you want a first class, second class, 3-star, 4-star hotel, and that is on you. You are going to eat, that is on you. After that, them filing the case with USCIS is money. There's an application fee, there's a filing fee. And even the interview, you're going to pay interview fee. You're going to go to medicals, which will cost you. You're going to do certain clearances, police clearance and other things. These are all monies. The NCLEX is not free. You're still going to pay application fee. The credentialing with CGFNS, you are going to pay fee for the credentialing. That is at least, I think, $250 to $300. After you've passed everything and you are going for the interview, by the time they file your case, you need what we call visa screen certificate, also from the same CGFNS, and that alone costs like $540. So if you are coming, even with the recruiter, you still need money because it's cost sharing. They are not going to bear everything. And then there comes FIDES, UPS, mailing. You are going to mail several documents every day. And we are talking about FIDES and UPS and DHL.
Wow. I mean, this just confirms an impression I've had all this while. The reason why a lot of people take the UK route compared to the US route, because it seems the UK route relatively is simple compared to the UK US process. So I know we've gone over our time by 30 minutes, but
yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot. Even when you come to the US, if you took your exam and the Texas board and your recruiter is posting you to New York, you have to transfer your license from one state to the another. That is money. You may have to end up going for your transcript and everything, because the next state you are going to work, some of them might do their own credentialing again. So
definitely. I'm sure, I'm very amazed that even as at this time, people are still here. It tells me that people genuinely love the topic we are discussing. That is one way to show. The other thing is that we want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel. And that will also confirm that indeed you appreciate all that we are doing, or on the other hand, or in other words, you like this particular topic and any other topic we have been discussing. Viewers, I just want to encourage you that all these panelists we brought here are very busy people. Myself, I'm very busy. My executive producer is very busy. But we thought that a lot of people would have just done very well if they had just the slightest of information. Why don't we put up a show that will enlighten people, expose people to accurate information, guide them so that they can also reach whatever heights they want to achieve. That is the whole purpose of the Discovery Show. So it is something that it is all about you. It is just centered on our viewers and not about us. So it takes a lot of effort to even get one person to sit on this show. I mean, those who have been here will tell you, it takes months upon months of chasing to get them. So we want to also get to know that indeed you are okay with what we are doing. We want to get your feedback. Please send us, email, message, so that we know which part of the program you want us to improve, so that we can get the best for you. What kind of panelists you want us to bring, what kind of guests you want us to bring, and anything you want the host and then of course the executive producer to incorporate into the program, you need to let us know. And of course, there's a recommendation session on Facebook. You need to go there and recommend that, so that at least when it is reviewed, we know that we are doing well or we are on course. And that will motivate us to go outside our busy schedule, so at least set with you, bring you the best of information you need. And of course, the best plea I can have for you today, finally, is for you to subscribe to our channel here on Facebook and on YouTube. The name is the Discovery Show TDS TV. And then on Instagram, it is the Discovery Show _TDS TV. So please do us the favor by subscribing. I'm sure by the time we finish with this interview, almost everyone would have subscribed. So thank you very much. Final words for you, Ms. Isaac Bamfo. If you want to summarize, you want to say something that you didn't touch
on. So I'm glad that I'm able to make it to your show, and also to motivate other nurses who want to take this road. I think Ghana has a lot of enterprising nurses that can do marvelous all over the world. So I will encourage each and everyone that wants to come to the US, come to the UK, to be determined. And that is doable. You just have to be determined and you can do it. So breaking down everything in pieces makes it more cumbersome. And when you start it, just take it stage after stage. Take the recruitment stage, get a recruiter, take the IELTS stage, get an IELTS, the NCLEX stage, learn, make sure you go and do justice to it. After that, take the immigration stage and go through. And then when you come here, the culture shock and the other things, you're going to settle. Once you make it, you're going to come. So people should be interested in what they think they like, and they should close their ears and march forward with seriousness. And I think they can be wherever they want to be. My advice to people and our colleague nurses is to sharpen their clinical skills, because that is what you are primarily coming to do. You don't want to be in a job where you are frustrated because you can't do what you claim you can do. So Ghana is not bad. We all started there. Everything we learned is not different. The human body is the same globally. So if you are able to do it at Confanoche, at Agona, you can do it in the US. There's just a bit of gap which will take care of itself when you come. So they can do it. And we are up for them when they need assistance. Through the Discovery Show, they can get a lot from us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bamfo.
Yeah, so whatever you do, somebody helps you. So I'll use your platform to thank the people, agencies in my life that has brought me far. I have a family, I have a wife, I have a daughter. They've been very supportive. So shout outs to them. I'll extend great thanks to the Ghana Health Service at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital. It is said in our local parlance that the priest that was able to take care of you until the arrival of the great priest also deserves some commendation. So everything we are started there. That's the foundation. So much has been sunk in us, like a lot, from clinical expertise, administration, interpersonal communication. The Ghana Health Service has always been the place that I started. I've met seasoned nurses, seasoned managers, doctors, through whom I have taken bits from to add up to my life. My teachers, lecturers, KUST, School of Anesthesia, my classmates, they all continue to be the pedestal on which we stand today. So we appreciate all that they've done for us and our families back home, moms, uncles, parents. We thank them for their contribution. Yeah.
In case someone wants to contact you, how do they do that?
I'm always on Facebook.
All right. So is it Facebook? Should they send you a message through Messenger or
they can send me Facebook chat, I'll respond. They can use you, and I know I'm always readily available.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We can't quantify how grateful we are. Thank you so much.